guys, so today I'm going to be talking about the new NYX foundation. This is the NYX Total Control Drop Foundation. So it looks like this. And it comes with a brush. I didn't buy the brush. I don't know. I have 10,000 brushes. I figured, why do I want to spend like over $10 on a new one just for this one foundation? So as far as their color selection, I think they have like 23 or 24 shades. So there is, a wide variety of skin tones. As far as the color selection within each skin tone, it's not so great. I mean, 24 shades is great for any brand. I mean, a lot of brands have a lot fewer selections than that. But even within skin tones themselves, like light, medium dark, dark, there are so many ranges of color. So I think any foundation that's like coming out in 2017 needs to really like break that down. So for me, they didn't have something that matched my skin tone, to a T. I mean, nothing usually does. So what I did was I got two different colors, and you can mix them together, which is usually what I do with foundations to achieve like the closest complexion that I can get for me. So I got Beige, which is number 11, and then I also got Golden, which is number 13. So this is them side by side. As you see, like this is number 11, this is number 13. These both have yellow undertones. The number 12 wasn't like yellow. I think it was like neutral or something. I do have yellow undertones, so I wanted to get something that specifically said like yellow undertones. And these are one apart. So that's what I mean. Like, yes, they have 24 shades, but there are a lot of shades in between beige and golden. So when it comes to the wearability and like long wear of the foundation, I used it last night for the first time ever. I'm going to go ahead and apply it on camera so you can see what I'm talking about. I used it in the tutorial I just posted today actually, so I will link that in the description bar below for this video. So in that video, I didn't really show the application of the foundation. I just kind of showed myself blending it out with a sponge. But I did mention that the foundation is a little weird, so I want to talk about that a little bit too. So like I said, I did wear it last night for the first time ever. Besides the initial application, once it was like set and my products and powders were on top of it, it lasted fantastic. It has kind of like a velvety matte finish, which I'm pretty sure it says that like right on the box. Honestly, as soon as I got the box, I like tore those bad boys open, threw them away, and this is all I got. So yeah, it doesn't really say anything on the bottle, but I'm pretty sure it says velvet to matte finish, and that's exactly what it does. I have combination skin. It can be very dry, it can be pretty neutral, and it can be pretty oily. I also have pretty bad acne. I mean, right now my face is clear for the most part, but I always get like scarring and scabbing because I'm like one of those pickers. So I have a lot of dry patches wherever, I have had any scabs or like where I had just picked something. But like I said, I do have combination skin, and the foundation wore perfectly fine. I did set the foundation though, which I would recommend if you have any like oily patches, especially usually in your T-zone for anyone who has my type of skin type. So when I applied the foundation yesterday, it was about 5/5:30ish p.m. I wore it just at home. I ate dinner, I got ready for the night, and I actually like went out to a bar. So I got home at like 1:45ish. I didn't take any pictures or anything. Obviously it was freaking 1:45 in the morning. I had been drinking. Like that was the last thing on my mind was, oh, let me take this picture. But I did look at my face before I like took my makeup off, and it wore just as well as my Urban Decay All-Nighter. Now, the only thing I would say, the Urban Decay All-Nighter is very full coverage, with like 1 to 2 pumps. This, you do have to layer it up, so it's a lot thinner of a product. So like if you touch your face, like I'm one of those people who like likes to do this, or like I just forget I have makeup on sometimes, and I'll like scratch. So a little bit around my mouth and like chin area, just where I would be like touching, or from like eating, you know, you move your mouth and you're talking. It did start to thin out again, but again, we're talking about after 8 hours of wear, so I think it's perfectly fine. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and apply this. I'll show you guys the application process, and then we'll talk about it some more as I'm doing that. Now I am going to like do everything that I would do as if I was doing my makeup for the day. I'm not going to put it on my bare skin. I will be putting primer on. I will still conceal, you know, any acne marks or scars, and show you how it wears on top of other products. I just applied the Maybelline Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser, which has like a silicone consistency. I think using a silicone-y primer is going to be your best bet. Anything with a moisturizer tends to leave the skin like sticky or tacky, and this foundation, I feel like if you have any wet patching, it's going to be really hard to blend. It's really hard to like blend out, period. So I would stick with something like silicone. I'm going to go ahead, carve out my eyebrows with a concealer so I don't have to get too close with the foundation, and I'm also going to cover up any scabbing and imperfections. So I'm going to go ahead and take off this jacket. That way you can see the color of my face compared to the color of my body. Now, obviously my face is a lot lighter than the rest of my body because I'm constantly exfoliating and, you know, taking care of my skin. So if I were to like leave that jacket on and just put some like tan ass product on, it would look crazy. So 1 to 2 drops of this foundation is supposed to be light coverage. I think 3 to 4 is supposed to be, as I'm like spitting everywhere, 3 to 4 is supposed to be like medium to full coverage. Now when I applied mine, I used something like this. This is almost like, honestly it looks like a paintbrush. Now you want to make sure to shake these extremely well. They tend to separate in the bottle. You know, once you get the product to yourself, you'll see what I mean. Literally all the color will like drop to here, and then it'll just be like this light, watery, like liquid. It's almost like when you open ketchup and you don't shake it and like that stuff comes out of the top. That's what happens to this. It's like, it's really freaking watery. This is the product. It is a dropper. So if I were to use a little squeegee and suck, the tube would fill up and you squeeze and it drops like that. You see how freaking runny that is. And that's after shaking it. So the first time I ever applied this, I like put it on my face, and I was so put off for the first like 30 seconds. I was like, this has to be a joke, because I literally, like, when they announced this and it finally like launched, I like was on my phone in a hot second, bought it like bam bam bam, was so excited. That was my first time using it yesterday, and I like literally almost cried at first. I was like, this can't be happening. But you put it on your skin, you give it like 30 seconds, and it almost like starts to set. I don't even know how to explain it. It's like it changes to like a velvety-ish consistency. It's so weird. Like when you first apply, it's really streaky. I go over it with a beauty sponge. I've watched other tutorials of people who have like gotten the brush that comes with it. They do the same thing. It literally applies the same way. It still comes out streaky, and then it just like fixes itself. So I don't necessarily recommend anybody buying the brush. Okay, so I have to make a color cocktail on the back of my hand. So I use like mostly the beige, and then I just put like a drop of the tan color in it. And I'm just going to use my hand and kind of like mix the two together like that. And I'm going to swipe. Now it looks very yellowy. The yellow undertones are pretty vibrant, but once you like set with powder, once you like set with powder and stuff, it does look fine. Okay, so I'm gonna move quick. So I'm taking my brush and I'm just like lightly spreading this out. You don't want to like spread out too far. As you see, it's extremely thin. If you try to like drag over a large area, it's just going to look even more streaky, and I just don't recommend it. Now you could see like how smooth that looks, and I'm just using very, very light motions to paint that on. The sun is like coming in and out of the clouds over here. I do have my curtain open, so if the camera keeps getting like light and dark, I'm sorry, but hopefully you guys can see what I'm talking about as far as color difference. Okay, so you saw how much product I had on the back of my hand. It's basically like almost dried by now, but I was able to do one cheek, two cheeks, chin. Now I kind of have to do like above my mouth, my nose, and my forehead. So I will definitely be making more. Now, from what I can see in like the viewfinder, it looks like it's coming back a little more yellow in the camera than it actually is in real life. That combination that I use with like mostly beige with just a drop of the golden really does do like justice for my skin tone, like on my chest and neck and body compared to my face. So this is one layer of the foundation. Now I did cover up most of my scarring before that, and some of it is peeking through, but again, I can't really complain. Like, some of my scars are pretty bad. So I'm going to go ahead and do the exact same thing. Alright, this is like 7 drops worth. And that's basically what I did before, like a 7-to-1 ratio with those two colors. And I'm just going to do the exact same thing. Put some on and blend it out. And obviously it's up to you to decide to layer or not layer. The more layers you do, the higher coverage you are going to get. Now this foundation is extremely buildable because of how thin it is. And it really gives your skin a nice velvety finish. It's really pretty. I honestly enjoy this so much. This is 2 layers. Now, yesterday when I had applied it, once I had about 2 layers going, I took out my sponge and just dabbed it all over the place just to soak up any extra product, because I do want to do another layer. I don't want it to look cakey in any way, and this is also going to help blend out any brush marks. Like I said, it can look streaky if you're moving in too wide range of an area at once. One more layer and we should be all set. Personally, just from applying with a brush like this, I think if you were to use a brush where you're going to be like doing circular motions all around your face, which is like the one they sell for this product, I think it would make it look even more streaky, because like I said, if you start dragging, like if I were to just drag from like here to here, you can like tell that I'm dragging from here to here. So if I were to be doing like circles and, you know, crazy buffing motions, it might make it harder to apply. So one more time, I'm just taking my sponge and very, very lightly blending everything out. I have to say my experience the second time around using it is a lot better than it was the first time. So this is 3 layers of foundation on my face. It looks very velvety and smooth, but there is a matte finish. It almost has like a powdery feel to it. It does transfer pretty easily. Like if I pat my face and like show the camera, I don't know if you can see that, but there is product on my skin. So like I said, yesterday when I was eating or like talking, there was a little bit of wear around my mouth, but it was nothing too crazy. Nothing that you wouldn't expect from a $14 foundation, but other than that, it was so long wear and so matte and velvety that can't really complain. I like to let my foundation sit into my skin for a little bit so it kind of settles and can dry up before I add any product on top. Now I'm going to go ahead and conceal and set and show you what the color looks like on my body after that. Okay, so my entire face is set. I'm dusting away that Ben Nye banana powder. And this is how it looks. Very natural, very matte still. Everything soaks up and blends into it very beautifully. Personally, even when I set my face, I still like to color correct a little bit, so I'll use like a colored powder. I usually use the L'Oreal True Match. This is the color W7, and I just take it on a big fluffy powder brush and just kind of go all over my face, trying to avoid where I've highlighted. So at this point, I would go on and contour, blush, highlighter, yada yada, obviously do my eyes. But for the sake of this video, I'm just going to stop here. So this is the final look. I don't think I need to keep going because I already have set my foundation. I also had put powder all over my face, so anything else, you know, layering up, that's going to be on top of the powder, not on top of the actual foundation itself. As you see, it holds everything extremely well. It blends extremely well. It finishes exactly the way it says it is, with like a velvety matte look. It's very natural, it's extremely buildable, and it's $14. So for $14, I mean, yes, I had to buy 2 shades. That's just the problem I have because of my skin tone. You know, a lot of people out there don't have that issue. So you're looking at a $14 purchase, where for me personally, this was $28 if I didn't have coupons, which I did, which is why I got 2 colors. But if you do need to combine colors, it's a $28 purchase. But it's still cheaper than your Urban Decay and a lot of other foundations that claim to do what this actually does. Recap: the color selection is a little spotty. You are able to achieve what you need, but you might have to buy 2 shades. Again, they're $14 a piece. Definitely worth the investment. Even if you're buying 2 colors, it's still cheaper than a lot of foundations that claim to give you this finish and these results. So you can't really lose with that one. I would not get the brush. Personally, as you saw, you don't need it. The brush is like another at least $11, maybe, I think. Not worth it in my opinion. All you need to do is really just watch this tutorial and see how to blend out the foundation without it. There's too many tutorials out there. Like personally, when I was looking into the foundation before applying it on myself, I was trying to find one without the brush and like how people were applying it, so I had an idea, and I literally found 1 video. 1. So here's another. Again, I'm sorry for the light kind of going in and out. Unfortunately, I cannot control Mother Nature, so I'm sorry. As far as primers, I would try to go with something silicone. Again, I would stay away from any watery, water-based primer or any type of moisturizing primer. As far as setting your under eye and setting the rest of the foundation, the powder just kind of like soaks into the foundation and really enhances that powdery feel without really giving it that powdery look. Like, as you're looking at my skin, you wouldn't look at it and think like I layered, you know, freaking 8,000 layers of powder on top of it. And like I said, I had actually used this foundation yesterday, not as successfully as today, so I'm really interested to see how this wears all throughout the day today, now that I actually like know how to work with it and stuff. But, you know, yesterday I did bronzer, I did blush, I did highlighter, and all of that blended seamlessly on top of the foundation as well. I just want to say thank you for watching this tutorial. I hope it was helpful. Like I said, there aren't too many tutorials out there for this foundation that have to do with application without the brush. So any of you who are cheap like me and you didn't want to buy the brush, I hope this video finds you because this is going to be really helpful. Like I said, I kind of struggled the first time I used the foundation, and I was going to do a first impressions, which I'm really glad I didn't do that, because I probably would have said some more negative things, and I literally take them all back. This foundation is amazing once you learn how to use it. So thank you for watching. If you want to see more review videos, definitely let me know. Comment the products that you would like to see me review. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on social medias as well. Those can all be found in the description bar. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more videos.
That love, and now you say you're oh so sorry. You woke us up from that dream.